Perhaps the moon knows the secret of the new sound.
He's so bright and pull on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and
Open your mind. Let us begin our quest to find the new sound.
I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got rice.
Look at the shine, everything I need.
I've got new. Nicey, zoo.
Okay, let's have fun.
better bedtime.
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine,
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new.
look at the shine.
He's so bright and bright, pull on the surfaces. He's so bright and he walking on my face. He's so bright and bright, pull on the surface, pull on this. He's so bright and he walking on my face. Better bedtime.
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine,
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new.
Sound.
You must choose. Bimbo. My name is Mr. Susan. You must choose, and now it is time for you to do the choosing. I am Mr. Dean.
I've got new.
You must choose.
I've got rice.
Look at the shine. I am Mr. Dean.
I've got new.
You must choose.
I've got rice.
Look at the shine.
Trapped in cabinets.
Can I get out? Will it get out? Cause it will.
You like a single time, fancy. Single time,
Better bedtime.
you like a single time.
He walking on my face.
Everything I need here. You like a single time, fancy. Single time,
Better bedtime.
you like a single time.
He walking on my face.
I did a rhyme.
Better bedtime.
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo.
You better
I've got rice.
Look at the shine.
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo.
you better
I've got rice.
Look at the shine.
Nicey, zoo. I've got new. Nicey, zoo. I've got new.
Look at the shine.
Yeah, I did a song. Jupiter, I did a song. You ain't got one. Yeah. Oh, I feel sick.
Oops, well, she's Louise. My camera went off. Anyway, hello. You should have been seeing half my face. And I've just been like, what the hell? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Darachat. My name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short, because some people keep saying Daramouthe for some odd reason, even though there's a silent E at the end. Hello. Goodness sake, I'm gone for 4 days and people still have an issue. But anyway, hey there, Half Pine. How are you? I see you're here. And of course, Dempsey, nice to see you, good sir. Nice to see all you pretty faces. Well, some of you are pretty. Others, you need to have a work. Just work on your self-confidence. Anyway, oh, well, I know it's been a while. I was at a family event this weekend, so yeah, I wasn't going to be here. There are a few exceptions to those things. That is holidays and family get together. So when those things come around, you guys will get warning notice. But after that, I won't be around. It is what it is. So, but anyway, I have on the prestigious Otters Are Naturally Handsome. Oh dear Lord. Oh good. Where is it at? No, come on, bring it up. No, don't tell me I can't pin. Do I have to refresh the screen again? I can't pin on screen because it won't let me do. Okay, hold on. I gotta refresh. Hold on.
Thank you for coming out. I had the same problems all the time with my studio. I always end up having to do stuff like that too.
The reason why, the reason why it happens, I forgot I muted myself. The reason why it happens is because when they do an update or whatever it is, you have to refresh or something like that. You can't. So they do an update whenever. Of course, we won't know what the update is until it comes out. But anyway, regardless. No, Half Pine. Boy, man, you are throwing out a ball for that one. Jeez. But
So are you pretty? No.
no, I am prudish, but that's only because certain people want to make it that way. That's right. What?
I see.
Oh goodness. But anyway, well, thank you for coming on, Hemphero. Of course, you are. Well, actually, when I wanted to go look at your channel, there were many channels. I'm like, what the hell does this guy even do?
A little of everything, dude, and it's gonna get worse soon.
Oh! Don't tell me you're gonna add like 5 more to the list.
Well, I do a lot of I have a lot of hobbies. So I do like woodworking, cooking. Like I did cooking streams already, but I do them like when I go meet with people.
Right.
Because I'd rather see their faces while they eat. Because it's more fun for me as a chef, like watching people eat and then learning, like, oh, I didn't know you can do that. Like, well, now you do. And then they eat it and they're like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. It's so sweet because the best thing I've ever had in my life was cooking for people.
Yeah.
And I've done it for so long. So like it's, you know how there's certain things that you're just really good at?
Yeah.
That's how I feel with that. Like, I mean, I'm good at video games, but I'm better at cooking than I am at video games.
Which is great because I mean, you know, you have people like, you know, higher up people like Gordon Ramsay and Wolfgang Puck and all those. But I mean, the joy of cooking is, well, one, like you're doing, one, to see the reaction, but two, just in the experimentation, and right, because there's sour flavors, there's spicy flavors, there's all different kind of flavors, and you get a kaleidoscope of that field, right? It's a huge wide field. It's insane, but you have to learn what works with what, because you just splash it all together. Lord knows you're gonna get some bad customers. You're just like, and all that
exactly.
So, but how long have you been doing the cooking thing though? Because that sounds like it's been quite a while.
A little over 20 years.
Dang, man.
And so like that's why when people joke about me being a master chef, it's like, all right, technically, yes. But no. Like I don't consider it because like you said, there's so much to learn. Like I've traveled to other countries to learn how to cook their food. But I only know like this much in like an ocean of knowledge. So it's and like I always tell people when you hear the word master chef, you immediately in your head you think, oh, that guy knows more than I do. No, that don't mean shit. Like I've met people who are younger than me who are better cooks than I am, and they taught me things.
Yeah,
it's like they're good at like gastronomy stuff, like the fancy science cooking.
Yeah,
I'm good at what's called like flavor layering. So like how you said sweet, sour, like spicy and all that stuff. You can basically just combine the weirdest stuff you never thought would go together. That's why you see all these like videos of people saying, oh, mix Dr. Pepper with pickle juice and whatever. Well, it's Diet Coke, pickle juice, and jalapeno juice. And they're like, oh, it's so delicious. So if you think about it, the flavors match, but it's so weird trying to explain to someone that stuff because it's like, oh, that sounds gross. I don't want to do that.
No, it's fascinating because again, it's the allotment of the field of cooking. Like there's one show out there that was from a long time ago. It's called The Iron Chef, and it's very,
I love that show.
Oh yeah, there's also an anime called Food Wars, which is kind of
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, because and it has its moments as an anime, but the food bit of it alone. See, for me, I didn't find out about the Iron Chef until after Food Wars because I'd never heard of it, or I did hear of it, but it was so long ago you forget, right? You're so young, so long. But when because you can actually go on YouTube right at this second and you can watch full episodes of season after season after season. It's insane. But
Yeah.
but for the food war part, just to look at some of the recipes, because again, they did have an actual chef for the first few seasons, whatever, help them build the recipes, and it's fantastically wonderful. Yeah, the original Japanese Iron Chef. Yes, that show is amazing because it's dubbed, right?
Iron
English.
Chef France was my favorite, even though I hate French cooks and I hate French people. Even though I'm French,
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, Sakai just he won't
yeah,
even look at the apple, and he's like peeling the whole thing, like talking. Oh yeah,
yeah.
and that's actually how I started learning, was because when that show first came out, my dad was like, "We're gonna watch this," and so it's
Yeah.
like how we bonded.
Yeah.
And it's funny you bring up Iron Chef and Food Wars, which both I was gonna make a reference to when you're like, some combinations are so terrible, like peanut butter and octopus combo. That's on Food Wars. He purposely makes the worst dishes ever and then feeds it to someone. And they're like, oh god, it's so terrible. And
but when you made that thing about the master thing part, right? There is that thing where Yukihara is in sort of those food wars with his dad, because his dad is world traveler, right?
Yeah,
like you said yourself. So you have that where he's competing against his dad, and those failures are learning opportunities. I think that's the most fascinating part, is that the failures part that Yukihara Soma right learns from, is that the failures teach him more things. And not only that, but the failures of the other food wars that he goes through, because that's why he wants to do food wars, is to find the failure, retry again, come back and beat, because what's the point of not winning and stuff, or not winning. But yeah, I do enjoy watching that a bit more, but I'd rather call it food war than some kind of like Bobby Flay or something like that. Let's call it a food war. Come on.
I don't like the Bobby Flay. I don't like the newer Iron Chef.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it sucks, and it's not as complicated as the old one. And the old one was far superior. Even though that main, like the main guy was just an actor.
Yeah.
I don't care. I thought it was hilarious. I loved it.
The head honcho, or whatever they called him. Alton Brown was the king of Alton Brown. Yeah, I can agree that Alton Brown would be sort of discovery, talk about the stuff behind it. So he'd be more educational.
I have two of his. Well, I actually have his two cookbooks. I'm just here for the food, and I'm just here for more food. I got them signed by him.
Nice.
And like, I was 15 years old, and like, I was the only kid there to meet Alton Brown, and I got my picture taken with him, and I was like, oh shit, this is the best day of my life. And my friend one-upped me by getting to go grocery shopping with him, and I was like, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts. And so it's funny, like, you bring up Alton Brown.
Yeah,
I'm a little upset about him right now, just because like he's a little.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend that I don't know anything about his social media stuff. I'm just gonna pretend that there's only good eats, and that's all I can think about. I don't care about the other stuff.
Sometimes it's sort of like what happened with Tiger Woods. Sometimes you only want to be about the game rather than his personal life, which unfortunately does. And of course, Freedom Otter brought up the right name. It was Chairman Kagi.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you had the three. Actually, it was three, and then four chefs.
Yeah, the fourth one got added later.
Yeah, the Italian one, which is kind of funny. You have chefs who are dedicated to a certain faction, and then you get the You get the ingredient or the main dish, what you're trying to do, and then you would go whichever way you could with it, as long as it contained the main dish.
Yeah.
And oh boy, I tell you what, I was hungry on some of those shows. Hey, Insta, what's up? But I was hungry after watching some of those episodes. Whoo-wee.
I will say, though, that to make a joke about the peanut butter and octopus, there's actually ways to mix those two flavors and they'd be delicious. So that's why I was like, whenever I first saw that episode, I was like, oh my God, he ruined it. And then I realized it's like, but in Thailand and in some areas like that, they have dishes with seafood and peanut butter sauce. Like, it's peanut sauce, but they're made with peanut butter.
Yeah. There's I know some
delicious.
Yeah, I know there's some Chinese restaurants that do have a peanut sauce that you can dip your food into.
Yeah,
Though I've never tried it myself, but that
it's very easy to make at home with like get some good peanut butter and
Mhm.
just get a little bit of it depends on what you like, which way you want to go, but a real simple one is you just mix a little bit of sesame oil in with it to make it thinner.
Mhm.
That's it. It's just thin peanut butter.
Yeah, that's
It's the
interesting.
silliest shit with like whatever seasonings you want. I've
Yeah.
had people add soy sauce. I've had people add like spicy peppers. I've had people add shrimp paste. I've had people add all kinds of stuff to peanut butter, and then
Mhm.
like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh
Thai
yeah.
peanut sauce. Yeah, it's
Choosy
so good.
choosy chefs choose chef.
It's funny. Thanks to a certain chatter in here, Smay,
Mm,
I got my like a cookbook I've wanted for a long time.
yeah.
It's a one-piece cookbook, so it
Nice.
has all the recipes from the show,
Ooh,
and that's why I ended up setting my kitchen up so I can do cooking streams here, because I'm just gonna
nice.
do some out of this book for myself, and I'm excited. Thank you, Smay. This is big.
Yeah, and the Food War series, they have the recipes actually in the manga. And
Yeah,
there's a content creator I followed and haven't watched his stuff in a while, but his name is Chef PK on YouTube. And he got inspired by what, because he was, in the restaurant business, right? He would watch the, cook and all that stuff. So he got inspired by the anime itself, and he started making his own. He started to try to improve on some of the
yeah.
recipes, like the fake uh, pork roast, I think it was. Um,
You mean
that
the one
was
with the bone in the middle and the perfect roast around it?
no. This
Oh,
was the potato, right? And then the bacon is wrapped around it.
oh yes, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha,
Okay,
gotcha pork roast. Gotcha pork
that's
roast is
it.
what it's
Yeah,
called. Yep. And so he would make his improvements to it. But that's the fascinating part, right? Is that you can take recipes you've seen and you can finesse them to your twist, whatever you want to call it. And that's the fascination of cooking, is that yes, you could say there's no there is no wrong way of doing it, but there's sort of a wrong way because you find out by the flavor, the
yeah.
taste, the smell.
Guidelines, but the guides are not set in stone. So like you
Yeah.
can go down one path, but say you find a detour on that path. I mean, take it. Just understand that it may lead you off a cliff,
Mm,
but that's how good. All right, so like the sign of a good chef is not going to cooking school. It's
mm,
not how many restaurants or how long you've cooked. It's none of that shit. It's
mm,
all about like how willing are you to try something new and
mm.
like deviate from a recipe. Because yeah,
Yeah.
you can follow a recipe all day long.
Mm,
Anyone can cook.
mm.
Anyone can do what like I can teach a monkey to cook a recipe. But the idea is a real cook or a real chef. Well, a chef is someone with a team under him, by the way. A cook is
Yeah.
just someone who cooks. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
a little distinction for anyone out there wondering the differences. A
Mm,
cook at home can be the greatest person you've ever like met. You know what I mean? I've seen some old ladies who I don't know how they're so good at cooking, but it's like I learned so much from them. But then I've met people who went through way more cooking school than I did,
yeah.
and they suck. Like they can't cook for shit, and like their flavor profiles are all over the place. They can plate like really good. They can make it look beautiful, and that's
Mm,
why every time I see these shows like on YouTube or any of that stuff, where
yeah.
I love watching, like that guy you're talking about,
Yeah.
PK. That dude is just awesome. I actually watched a lot of his stuff, and
Oh yeah.
when I used to spend time on YouTube, that was pretty much all I did was watching cooking stuff and like recycling and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't know how it tastes because all we got is their word for it or their co-host.
Yeah.
And so that's what gave me the idea of like, all right, I'm going to do like the Take Home Chef, which was a show back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm,
He would go to the supermarket and the dude would like find old ladies or younger ladies or men or like, he just finds someone who looks like they're a little confused and
yeah.
be like, hey, what you making for dinner? Like, honestly, I don't fucking know. I go, well, can I make you something? And then we just film it. And so like he would go home with these people. And this is like a high tier chef guy. He'd just fucking go there, buy all the ingredients, and then go to their house and cook it in their house. And then teach them to cook while he's doing it.
That is something that 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 in itself is the real challenge, right? Because while you can do a Michelin star restaurant, that's fine. There's always a challenge there. You can do the lowest grading, you could Waffle House, whatever.
Yeah.
But to do at someone's house and not only cook for them but show them, that right there is the magic in itself, because not only does that set you up for the challenge, but you're doing two things at once. You're challenging yourself and you're teaching someone else how to cook, at least within a reasonable means, because some people sometimes a little got complicated. But when you can do that right there, right, that to me is probably the ultimate challenge. Just imagine Bobby Flay does the same thing, right? He's not there to do any punch up or whatever. He's just there because he has a gift with food that he's built up for years and years and years, right? You've said 20 years for you. He's probably done more than that.
He's 40 or 30 or something like. I remember because he is just a little bit older than I am. And I remember when his career first started, I kind of got upset with it because like he was one of those Beat Bobby Flay was the show that made me upset, because I was like, he would go to people's houses and then like challenge them, be like, what's your dish? Let me beat it. And it'd be like, all right, that's a little pretentious. But he did lose to a lot of like old Cajun ladies from Louisiana, which made me happy because I was like, that's right. Put him in his place. But to bring up one thing that Dashboard said, Yan Can Cook is amazing. But there is another Yan. If you go look up Walking with Yan or Walk with Yan or something like that, it's the Canadian version of Yan Can Cook. So there's two Yans from the same time period, and it's kind of insane.
Yeah, that's pretty. That is, because
I found that out not long ago.
Yeah, because if you go, I mean, again, if you go to YouTube, you'll find a lot of people who cook, but there's a more put on approach to it, right? It's more of this fancy studio stuff. In the end, cooking is just cooking.
Exactly.
Right?
And like you said, going to someone's house, that's a whole nother ball game, because they might have crappy pans, a terrible knife, like nothing to sharpen that knife. I've been in places where all they had was a terrible steak knife, and I had to use a coffee cup to sharpen it to get it to where it would be sharp enough to actually cut stuff with. So it was, let's just say that's why I took up the challenge as well, to just go somewhere.
Yeah.
And be like, even if we're in the woods, I don't care. Like, I'll grab rocks and make a like stone griddle. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Yeah, because I think that is the and then of course Uncle Roger gets brought up in chat. The king of fried rice, goodness sake, I've seen
Uncle Roger. Nah, man, he is not the king of fried rice.
I have seen him. I have seen him though go to other cooks. So there's the cowboy Kent, who's on. I think he did go to that and some other ones. But going back to going to the home thing, where you were talking about, have to find a knife for sharpening, whatever. That's the beauty of it, right? What challenges a cook? By accepting different challenges in order to hone their skill. And so they're not aiming to be perfect. They're aiming to, how do you get around this obstacle? How do you do this? How do you do that with your limited supply, right? That is where I find the fascination, is that when a cook is not in a super big kitchen, not in this thing, whatever, he is in an element where he's not, or he or she, whatever, is not sure. And yet somehow, some way, they accomplish the challenge in where they're cooking at and what they're cooking, and all of a sudden the dish is wonderful. That's the beauty of cooking right there, when you could challenge yourself beyond the placement, when you could challenge beyond the food topic, pick, whatever you want to call it. That's where I think that can really work out well. But then again, I don't know. That's just a fascinating part.
I would agree with you on that one, because it's pretty much where the idea for like traveling around to other countries came from, because I was so curious. Like, there's so many people out there who they want you to have the best of this, but like, oh, you need the best oven, the best knife set, the best this, the best that, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
really care. And
Mhm.
you know, I've used from the crappiest items to some of the best stuff. And one of my favorite knives is it's like right here, and my buddy brought it back from South America. And
Mm.
what it is it's made out of what is that, like a rebar or whatever?
Yeah, it
You
kind of
see
looks
where
like
the
that.
little pot marks or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it's got antler
Oh,
and it's full
nice,
tang and it
nice.
holds a really good edge. I
Yeah.
use this for hunting, fishing,
Mm.
cooking. I have a bigger version that's his in the kitchen.
Nice.
Comes in this little leather case right here.
Ooh.
This knife probably $60,
Right.
maybe. But that was in Argentina, so
Yeah.
that's probably a lot over there.
Yeah, and that's the funny part, right? Is that again, you know, people who aren't that deep into the cooking aspect, right? I mean, it doesn't even have to be. Cooking is
Yeah.
about enjoying making and whatever, or just getting something to eat. That's the point of it. But you have all these different, you have like the Wolfgang Puck knives and Gordon Ramsay and all that stuff. So they have something to sell. But the challenges and working with the tools you have, working with the spices, seasonings, and the stuff that happen, all this other thing. And of course, yeah, there's a point where it may seem like a dullness to some degree, but the point of the matter is also having fun with what you're doing, because I think there are the people who do run to that aspect of losing their love for it. It's not about winning money. It's not about showing up to some judges or whatever. It's about, and that's one of the things I enjoyed about Food Wars, is that you have one of the girls, Manami or something like that, who has hospitality as her sort of cookery, and that's amazing, right? Food that warms the soul is basically what
I
it
love
is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you have something like that, that's where you can head on too, as well as food that warms. You can have, say, soul food. That's another area as well. But the point of it is,
Comfort food, soul food.
oh yeah,
They
yeah,
have most of the type of like period food, as they call it. So like girls really want to eat whenever they're on their period. There's like
yeah,
a whole freaking cookbook for that. And it is like that girl, you're right, because they have different styles.
mm,
And that's the reason I pick on classic French trained chefs, because like I started out that way. I know what it's
really,
like to have to do that. And it's an annoying, like, okay, I grew up in Louisiana where
mm,
most of Cajun French people are. So, like,
yeah,
people, like, sometimes you'll have family that just don't speak English.
yeah,
Learning to cook there and learning from classic French people is kind of annoying because they're just super, what up, Fatal? Super, like, nitpicky about
yeah,
every little detail. And, like, if your soup isn't perfectly clear and like have the right flavor profile. So like they don't want it tasting watery, but they
mm,
don't want it so flavorful that it's murky and like unclear. Whereas like Cajun French people, they don't care if it's murky and ugly looking as long as it tastes delicious.
yeah,
And so that's why like Cajun and French people are so like, oh, we don't like the French, because it's like they're too prim and proper with their cooking.
yeah,
And I can do it, but I
mm,
don't like it, and I don't
mm,
think it's worth it because it's too much work and it ain't as good flavor.
yeah. Well, so that brings the question: what do you think about chefs like Julia Childs? Julia
Julia
Childs.
Childs, hell yeah. So fun thing about her, she was a big like force for why I love cooking. Her and Jacques Pepin, her
Mm,
co-star at
mhm,
first, and now he has his own stuff.
yeah,
They both, like, Jacques Pepin was the one French chef that taught me to not worry about all the fanciness. Like, just do it like you're at home
mm.
for your family and people you love, because that's the only important part to cooking, is putting love in it.
Yeah, and of course, she was well respected by the
Oh
French
yeah,
cooking, because that was a difficulty. But I also want to bring up, for because Fatal brought this news, Gordon Ramsay. Now, mind you, his mostly business is just cursing at a microphone while doing this. But
yeah,
there were times where I don't know if like on YouTube he would post cooking at home. And
yeah,
that changes the aspect of him, because he's not in front of these people who are expecting some gaudy Englishman yelling all the time. No, sometimes he cooks with his family, sometimes does this,
Yeah.
but he's cooking at home, and that changes the whole scenario because he's not cooking on that
Yeah.
screaming anger. He's cooking it because he enjoys the satisfaction of it. And so that right there, because there have been when he did that with his family, because I don't know if there's any episodes of Cook with Family, but when he did it at his home, I think
Yeah.
that changes the dynamic of when someone cooks. There's a difference between someone who cooks at a restaurant because, hey, you're paid to and
That's
all
your
this stuff.
job, yeah.
Yeah, and someone who cooks at home where there's a more relaxing atmosphere. It really is astounding of how big the field is, but how much respect there are for certain people, certain areas. And you're always going to have people that be the one-uppers, right? Do all that stuff. But if you enjoy cooking, if you enjoy maybe a little exploring, you can do wonders with it. I'm not saying you'll work miracles. That's
Yeah.
that's a totally different subject.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine. I just can't imagine not being willing to give something small a try, because I'm not in any sense a great cook in any sense, but at least I can cook to feed myself. That's that's the
That's all
important.
that matters, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people forget that sometimes the simplest cooking is the best. So, like, the whole joke in the kitchen is like, how good are you at making a steak?
Mm.
You don't have anything to rely on. Like, you can't rely on a bunch of fancy flavors. You can't rely on,
Yeah.
oh, I have these fancy tools. It's a fire and it's a piece of meat, and you might have salt.
Yeah.
How good are you at like cooking it? And there's people out there that are talking about like the touch your fingers and tell the doneness of a steak. It's like, that's not always gonna work, because sometimes if you don't let your meat like reach room temperature before cooking it, it's gonna tense up, and then you're gonna think it's done before it's even done, and it's gonna be tough, and it's gonna be nasty. And like, you just let that thing room temp, hot pan, slap it down, don't move it until it makes a nice crust after like 2 minutes minimum. Flip it, and then do it again, and then take it off, let it rest. And then once it's done resting, chop that thing up and it'll be buttery smooth, and you don't really need any extra, Mr. May's cooking steak, man, that's delicious.
Nice. Yeah, now you're getting me hungry. But no, yeah, I've been trying to do more on the carnivore stuff, but that's usually I just find cheap cuts, not really
Dude,
T-bone or
those are
whatever.
the best. Cheap cuts are the way to go. Do you like mushroom gravy?
I'm not much of a mushroom person, so I wouldn't say it's
So
that.
cream of chicken, or do you like any of those kind of things?
I mean, I've not. It's been a while because those are Campbell stuff, right? I haven't tried cream of chicken or whatever. And
Yeah, any version will do, like the dollar store version or whatever. It's just the idea that like you take the cheapest cut, you get a cream of cream of celery, cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, whatever is your favorite one.
Yeah.
Throw it in a pan and shallow boil the meat after you sear it. So like you sear the meat and then throw it in that pan for like an hour on low. And it's called gravy steaks. And they're just so freaking good. And if you're trying to go carnivore, it's really, really good to incorporate different like proteins with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if you get a cream based that's a full fat cream, it'll give you some extra fat and proteins in there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Is food shit. I can make mushrooms all day.
See, now that was one of the things too, is that when talking about Chef BK, he'd actually make some of the recipes. No, it wasn't him. Sorry, there were some people who made some recipes or did some of the recipes from what was it, Legend of Zelda Gone Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, where I've seen those. One of them tried to make the failed food, and I was like, oh, why would you do that?
But no, I was tempted by the sort of shrimp, no, not shrimp, mushroom steak and that sort of stuff, because there was they were using different spices for that. But yeah, it's so fast, and then of course I can't remember who they were, but there was like making recipes from games or making food from games. That's an interesting factor right there, is because sometimes some games don't even have recipes for them, and you're sort of just going based off by look alone, and that's
Yeah.
an interesting factor. If fungus is food, aspis could come in a can. Oh,
Actually,
oh.
it does come in a can. It's called tough actin, tenactin. But what I was gonna say is, what
Yeah.
don't you like about mushrooms? Is it the texture or is it the flavor?
It is a very, so when more of the time when you go to a restaurant, right, they cook them in a sort of floppy and all that stuff. It's very soft through.
Like soggy and
Yeah,
gross.
yeah, it's all soft through. It's just, and it's, I've never had an interest to try a mushroom in the first place because it is that soggy soft through, or it's you have to chew through it, and
I have
so
there's a fix for that because like I'm one of those people that I will find a way to make something you hate. So like Fatal said, well, if he could make fish taste good, I'll make fish taste good for you. Don't worry. And I can make
I believe it.
mushrooms taste good to people who don't like mushrooms because I've done it before.
See,
Well,
I
here's the
believe it.
trick:
Mhm.
dry them and then powderize them. And then what I do is, because what's happening is you don't need the texture of the mushroom to do anything.
Yeah,
And like the only other good use for mushrooms is soaking up oil if you have too much oil in a dish.
yeah.
So use powder to get the delicious flavor with none of the weird texture sogginess. And like, so I mix that in like mushroom powder and then yeast, like the
Yeah,
the cheddar yeast thing, you know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
I powderized the two of those and put that in ground meat, and that's
Mhm.
how I make my smash burgers. And
Hmm.
nobody ever knows that there's mushrooms in it, but they're always like, "Why is it so good?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's because of layering flavors that you never thought you would enjoy."
Yeah, and I think that's a sign of a great chef too, is when you can hide the
Yeah,
dissatisfaction. When
yeah.
when they don't like, I'm not too abhorrent to say artichokes, but you do have people who don't really like artichokes for whatever reason, right? Because I believe those are hard to cook correctly.
Well,
Or
all
they
right. So yeah, it's a fun story with artichokes because yes, they're simple but
Mm,
easy to fuck up. So it's
yeah,
literally you're boiling them, but it's the amount of time you boil them.
right. Okay, yeah, that's interesting because I mean nowadays you can actually get artichoke on some pizzas. So some pizza places actually put artichoke on, which is pretty interesting, because it
I
is.
I'd make
Yeah.
a pesto out of the artichoke first before I like put it on a pizza, you know?
Mm.
Because there's certain pizza types. So if I was gonna have a pizza that had artichoke, ain't gonna have no red sauce, that's for sure. And it's gonna be like olive oil with a little bit
Mm,
of the pesto made out of artichoke hearts, and then like some feta cheese and stuff like that.
yeah, I've been trying to use olive oil and like olive oil and avocado more, for healthier reasons. Um, but yeah, no, that just sounds, again, that going to other places and showing people how to cook, that's the magic right there. And that's pretty awesome.
If
But I'm gonna get too hungry too long. You'd be like, why are you leaving? I was like, I gotta go. I'm hungry.
yeah. That's one problem I have is I'll talk about food for fucking hours, man. So we can actually, if you want to change subjects to something non-food related, since we're making everybody hungry,
We're already way past that point.
you
We're
know
just like,
something funny? This shirt is older than a lot of rumblers. It's
really?
from 1993.
Oh,
It's
really?
a Taco Bell shirt.
Oh, yeah. Greetings,
Yeah,
taco lovers. Wow.
dude, it's crazy. I didn't realize it was from 93. I knew it was from the 90s, but I thought it was like 98 or something.
What is it? No, keep talking. Well, we are going to keep talking. We're definitely going to keep talking. We're just going to
We're
step
going to talk
aside.
about a different subject now. I
Yeah.
got a lot of crap I could talk about, bro. You
Yeah.
just asked.
And and of course, Rocky and Bullwinkle. I remember that became a movie a while ago, or not a while ago, but with like the live
Oh,
action one that happened years ago. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, you've been doing the gaming stuff on Rumble Most, but you've also been doing the kind of like Rumble community thing recently. And what brought that one about?
so
Honestly.
the fun part about that is I actually started with the Hangouts first
Mm,
because it was more or less like a selfish thing
mhm.
because I was nervous and I don't like streaming. Like
Yeah.
I don't like people. as much as people think I like people.
Thanks.
So like I was a hermit for a long time. So like for like 7 years, I didn't deal with people other than like talking on the phone at work. Like other people around me couldn't speak English, so it wasn't. There was nothing for me to talk to anyone about for a long time.
Okay.
And then I got back to America, and everything was weird. Like you got all these topics that you can't talk about, and you got people get mad at you for saying one thing, and then I'm like, what the heck, bro? I was in Thailand and India where nobody cares, and like they couldn't understand me first off, so it didn't really matter. And then I got to Rumble, and I found like because first Jeremy from the Quartering raided Lumpy, then he raided Fox, and then he raided Bless. And I had fun with those three people to begin with, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna stay on Rumble. And so I parted ways with Jeremy's streams because I had to take a break from the political spectrum of things.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Still, I buy his coffee. I promote his coffee. I got the founder's coin right here because I started whenever they first, like I bought the very first bags they had.
Yeah.
And like, I love Jeremy. Especially for showing me Rumble and like meeting so many cool people, which now has expanded to a number that I never expected. And like now people show up every day and like we hang out. And so like when I got partnered, that caught me off guard by like a huge amount. But like people were saying, I feel like because at the time I was doing the hangouts.
Yeah.
I was modding like 36 channels, and I'm like they said, Rumble was watching me and was like, oh, look at what he's doing. He's doing good for the community, blah, blah, blah. And so whenever I got partnered, I was like, well, then I guess I'm going to be doing a whole lot more hangouts.
Yeah.
And then it became like its own thing where people now will hit me up and be like, do you want to do a hangout tonight? I'm like, okay. Because I'm flexible. I don't really care. Like it's either I'm going to be playing a game or I'm going to do a hangout. Or this, like, you give me like a heads up in advance. I'll just cancel. Like I'm going to do a stream after this anyway. But my point is I can like plan around it. So it's easy. And then doing a hangout, I just turn on studio, let people come in. We smoke and drink and talk and just relax. And I mostly do it so that people, so like on your stream, if you came to my stream, it'd be you just relaxing. You don't got nothing to worry about. You don't have to think about anything because like people don't think about how much goes into like people's streams sometimes. Like they got their buttons they're clicking, they got all this other stuff they're worried about, they got topics they want to keep going, they want to keep that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And they want the engagement. Whereas like on my hangouts, I could care less if there's 2 people in the chat. It's the people that are in the hangout. As long as we're having fun, people will come and like hang out because like they see us having fun and they're like, oh look, they're having fun. And it turned out it was more. I didn't think it was as important to some people as it was until some people told me like, oh yes, this is blah blah blah, and I was like, oh man. And I don't do well with like compliments and stuff like that. So like, I usually respond back with, all right, guy, let's move on. And like, so it's always been weird to me because, as someone who went from hating people to now, like people are like, oh, yeah, man, community guy. And it's like, what? Hold up. How'd this happen? When did this happen?
That's pretty awesome in itself because you wanted to. I mean, for me, it's not that. I mean, to be honest, it's not. The only trouble I ever have is trying to make shorts now because they're not as enjoyable at times. But other than that, everything else is pretty much smooth sailing because I can easily get done with a thumbnail in like 5-10 minutes flat. Not that difficult. Or it's just that and the scheduling. The scheduling is always another ordeal. People. I've been dropped by at least a few. No word on that. But at the end of the day, it's not that difficult. And for me, from my perspective, I've seen a lot of people when I try to just tell them what what this is about, and they're just like, wait, huh, what? I'm like, yeah, the conversation is the topic. There is no, we'll talk about Ubisoft, we'll talk about Acolyte, we'll talk about Star Wars, all this stuff. No, there's none of that. We can talk about it, but that's not the set in stone stuff. A lot of those creators.
Yeah, I get it. You got it like you're more relaxed on the subject. You just want to have a conversation to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense to me. That's why at first I was also confused until I watched a couple of the ones. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, this makes sense. Because like if you want to delve into a subject, you'll go. Or if you just want to like ramble on about something, we can. It don't matter. That's why I was saying like one day we'll get you up on in the hangout because man, we need you talk to more people, get you like out there and kind of explain it, and we can grow everybody together, you know? Because I like these kind of setups where it's more just you're basically trying to get to know people, and it makes sense, and I like it because that's how you should have conversations. It's more instead of being like, all right, now next topic, how do you feel about gay men? Like, you know, we don't have to go straight into like different topics. We can just be like,
yeah,
hey, did you see the ball game yesterday? And be like, no, I don't watch sports.
Yeah.
But you know.
This time on the broadcast, we're gonna talk about the fine weather outside and who the hell did that?
Yeah. I know, right?
But yeah, it's just because we're at a point where you already have a bunch of creators talking about the industry and all that stuff, but they're missing a big chunk of having those conversations with people who aren't creators. Because again, I was trying to, Mr. R Dashboard, who's Mr. I, was trying to tell somebody, in the Rumble Gamers faction, like, oh yeah, he talks to a bunch of creators. I'm like, no, I talk to creators and non-creators alike because that's the issue. Is I'm not just for creators. There are already there are already other people doing that. I am for trying to get people on for a conversation, whether they're a creator or not. And I've had many who are not creators at all. The point of the matter is we're at a time where people want to talk about having a conversation, but they really don't, and they're divided by the political stuff and all this other. It all gets white noise at the end of the day. And we kind of need to get to a point where we can just sit down and have a conversation. And will we agree? Will we disagree? It doesn't matter. Is that we're willing to come and sit down and just have a conversation with each other. And that should be what the most important part about it is, rather than just, and then we're going to talk about how the industry is failing us and woe is us. It gets tiring after a while.
I agree. And that's kind of why I was going to say, like, the people who are on the Hangouts aren't all streamers. In fact, like a few of them are just chatters. And they just come to hang out. Because, like I said, it's mostly just de-stress, relax, shoot the shit, talk about whatever you want, and like that's kind of why I was saying I agree with the way you're doing it, because it's like if you need people who need, like, there's people out there that need someone to talk to, and like sometimes it don't have to be about just anything. They just need someone to like be around, because some people live alone, and then the only interaction they get is with people on Rumble, which I've worked from home for going on 12 years now. So it's dealing, like, I don't leave the house much. So that's another reason why I do Hangouts.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, I can have interaction, camaraderie with people who may not be in the same state as me.
Yeah.
May not even be in the same country. So like we get people from all over, they come hang out. Kind of hard to juggle with Alpha because he's 15 hours ahead.
Oh, dear Lord, yes. And he's a day ahead. A good guy, though. Good guy. But yeah,
I love Alpha. He's actually how I found your channel, because of your interview with him. And I was like, oh, man, I'm going to go check this out.
Yeah, and it's also another thing, too, is like I don't consider when I have people on an interview, because I'm not interviewing you. I'm just having a conversation with you. I ask questions, sure, but then you ask me questions, and it's really not an interview. So when people call an interview, I'm like,
I'm interviewing you, so it is an interview.
Well, we're dueling interviews. All right, what did you do last summer? What did you do?
Dueling interviews, kind of like dueling banjos, but a little cooler.
Except there's no musical recourse, and there's going to be a lot of words flying that kids should not be listening to. Children,
That's
please turn off the channel right now if you can. It's
That's
going to
true.
get
Or
messy.
put the fingers in the ears because we're not showing anything bad. We're just saying bad things.
You just see people like, and then it's just like,
I can't ever think of a word for other than interview because like
I just think
Chat?
I use free flowing conversation.
Free
Conversation.
flowing conversation. I like that.
It's all I've got. Well, it's not all I got. I mean, there's freeform as well. There are other people who do freeform too. It's just for me, I don't get. I have a lot of different people who I can count on if I need someone to come on or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's that. But I try to reach beyond the scope. So I've reached across different platforms as well.
Yeah.
I've had people from Twitch. I've had people from YouTube. Mostly they multi-stream on YouTube as well. And then of course there's a gentleman I'm going to have on next month who's going to be from Kick. So there's a point right there is not only being on the Rumble faction but reaching across platforms as well. Because again, my thing about all this content creator stuff is that content creators should with all the stories you hear about YouTube, with all your stories about Twitch, you shouldn't really be just on one platform, because if you get screwed like that, then all your content just goes
that's true.
into the void. And people could say, I know, and people could say what they will about other platforms, but they are there. They are tools for a content creator like myself and yourself to use to our benefit, because Lord knows what's going to happen in the next day. Right.
Yeah.
That's how quick something can go, is a day. We look at the YouTuber side, right? And we see these content creators that get demonetized and they have to fight through the system, go to Twitter X, all this stuff. They have to fight through the system to get a response back.
A good example right now. He's going through it right now.
For Twitch, yeah, because he said something. And then of course you got someone else who's on there. It's hey, UB Legend. It's sort of like with the whole thought situation on Twitch, right? You have all these girls who are using it for that thing, and yet it wasn't made for that. It was made for gaming and all stuff. Yeah, video games, all stuff. And of course, the other platforms don't like how I talk. Yeah, and that's understandable. Look, I'm not gonna tell you how to tell you your content creation. It's just for me, from my end. I've seen too much to say you should be on one platform. I'm not gonna agree with that. I'm not gonna. I will say,
if I could, I would have streamed to X as well. It's just I found out you have to pay for it, and I'm like, man. Yeah. They could have at least just let you do it for free with no chat, and be like, "Hey, if you want to chat, come to Rumble."
It's the thing of it though, is that what we consider free is not free for them. So what is free to us is not free. So Rumble Studios is free for us to use, right? Free to it's not free for them.
No, they're getting it from like the ad revenues and the things like that's why they have so many ads now, and people are like, "Oh, I don't like all the ads." It's like, well, you like Rumble, don't you? Well, deal with the ads for a little bit, or sign up for premium, because
Yeah, and that's I'm chilling. Well, it's great. Oh, glad you're chilling. I'm glad you're feeling cold. It's so cool over there. No, it's for that most streaming sites, right? Yeah, but X is also a business too, which makes money, and it needs to make money to be a business. So he fired
so many people, so now he's got to come up with proper ways for it to make good money. He's got to come up with like new innovative things to keep people on the platform. Apparently right now there's people just like, I'm gonna leave because AI is gonna scan my content. It's like, okay. Welcome to the future where technology is going to outpace any of your laws and your rules, and
it already does.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? Just leave every platform because they all do it already? Like, come on.
And they don't understand that if you use Google in any capacity, guess what, kids? Too late.
Yeah,
too late.
It's already scanning all your stuff.
Yeah, how many people? How many use Google Drive, Google Sheets, Google all this stuff? If you use any of their free products, guess what, kids? Sorry to tell you, your stuff's been scanned.
You're in the system already. That's why, like, it makes me giggle when I meet people who are like, "I'm off the grid" or "I'm off the system." It's like, you may have the smallest digital footprint that you can, but you got one. We all got one, whether we like it or not.
It's 2024 for crying out loud. Yeah, it is 2024. And then people say, oh, it's 2025. It's like, that'll be something that's said every year. Guess
Yeah.
what? Some people don't change.
Nope.
But yeah, it's just, it's the silliness of it all. And
Yeah.
you kind of have to laugh it off. Like, I get it. But you're in a place where, in some cases, you applaud the technology. And in other places, you don't. And you're going to have the duality because, again, it's a tool, right? This internet is a tool. Rumble Studios is part of that tool and all this stuff. How you use it is how it will be defined. That's how it's
True.
going to go.
2025. I want my flying car.
And you didn't get it. Back to the Future was a lie.
I know, right?
So, but
I don't think I saw that, UB.
yeah, neither did I. I just know of the one movie which used AI for like an actress, and that was Simone. Simone was a movie where, of course, it had Al Pacino in it, and the guy was a director, and so he got his hands on something that was a simulated person, and he was guiding an actress that wasn't even there to begin with, and so he didn't. He's just the future of what is the future's going to be. Are actors and actresses going to be a thing anymore? And looking
the
at
creator.
oh yeah, that was a movie a long time. I never watched it, so I don't know too much about it.
I know which one you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that. All right, so yeah,
never.
AI is a little bit weird, but I like it. It's useful as a tool.
Yeah.
But we got to remember how to make sure that these tools aren't used in an insane way.
That's the justification, because you can't, in a sense, or you can, but it's difficult.
Yeah,
you could try, because at the end of the
and then something new's coming.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically the kid and the cookie jar, right? If it's an oatmeal raisin, kid's not going to have it, right? That's no bad cookie. But if it's a chocolate chip cookie, cookie jar, kid's going to find a way to get into it. And if you don't make it so difficult that they can't reach it, they're going to find a way, just like adults do. Adults find a way to get to what that. So again, you can say all this and this, and like I said earlier, the rules and laws are just too far back to catch up. And it's just insane. So the only thing you can do is just kind of steer, right? Sort of this very big train. You try to put your hand to it, it's going to run you off. But if you can just steer it just a little, all it takes is an inch or two, and things can change. But it is what it is. And as Steve said, it's cool, but it does risk getting it's a genie. It's a Pandora's box. It's a genie out of the bottle. I mean, we're already at that point where it kind of is at the case. I mean,
it's already out, and what are you gonna do? We got to worry about it now that it's out. So it's
you get. There was something I saw was Instagram, right? They were using a sort of AI or whatever to have a model of sorts. So you do know that's going to be what the next thing is. They're going to use it for, say the OF or whatever. They're going to use it for that, and they're going to make money off nothing.
Funny story. They've apparently did it. My buddy sent me a study done where they were using an AI generated girl and then just selling photos, feet pics, body pics, and people thought it was a real girl. And it was just two dudes behind it the whole time. And they made a lot of money.
I don't doubt it.
It's kind of obnoxious how much they got. And so, because the reason my buddy sent me that is he's like, oh my God, we need to find a way to start a robot brothel. And then, so fast forward 3 weeks after he tells me that, I send him an article. It's like, oh, Japan opens its multiple robot brothels around the country. And so he's like, they stole my idea 3 weeks ago.
Curse you. It's just insane what unfettered technology does. But we kind of do that to ourselves, where we do kind of let people will complain about the iPhone and whatnot, but they're still making iPhones.
Yeah.
Don't know what,
Sadly.
don't know what to tell you. But anyway, it is the top of the hour, and so what I do is I set aside time for us to promote ourselves, because not everyone does, because not everyone's a creator, but it's just sort of a way of like some creators do it at the beginning, some creators do it at the end, some do it sporadic throughout. I just figured you do it at a timely manner, like, oh, it's been an hour, let's go there. Oh, it's been another, that, so forth and so on. So I did. Let me check first. I think I put your links are down below. So if you want to sell yourself, not that way, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna go grab a beer before I sell myself. 2 seconds. Hold
Oh,
on.
okay. He's gonna self promotion time. All right. Well, we'll wait for him to get back because mine's a little long. I don't want to do mine before his self promotion time. That's right. Half Pine's got it. All right, he's returning. Okay.
When I say sell myself, let me just.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow!
So I'm Hemphero. I like to play video games. I like to do random things. I also cook. I do stupid voices. And I do hangouts. There you go.
Bravo, sir. Bravo. And his links are down below. When I said sell yourself,
For 5 easy payments of $99.99, you can own your own.
Hemphero, for one lifetime payment of one lifetime of many payments of $1 million.
$1 million.
For every year he's alive, he gets $1 million. That's what you're going for.
Damn. I'm high class. I like
There
it.
you go. Gotta go high class. Otherwise, it's just all low trash or something like that.
I know, right?
Anyway, but his links are down below. So go ahead and give him out. And if he's worth a follow, well, you know how to do it. But anyway, from my end of things, guys, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the stuff, leaving a follow, leaving a comment, doesn't matter which. Anything that helps the engagement is much appreciated because, again, guys, that leads to be seeing more about other people and also having other people on as guests because one hand washes the other. That's how I do it right now. You won't see me wash one hand over the other because I'm not a creep like you people are. I'm not trying to sell washed hand pics. That's still dirty. But but any help on engagement for either platform is much appreciated. And of course, my link is down below. It has my Discord one, it has my email one, it has my Twitter X one, it has also the links to Rumble and YouTube. Again, if you want to find out where else I'm at, you can go there. Or if you'd like to come on, you can either leave a comment in Rumble or YouTube, or just go there and find me in other places. Again, any help with engagement on either platforms is much appreciated. And the link is down below. So thank you all for that very much. See, I gotta work that better so I don't have to be too long.
That's perfect.
Q's George Michael Sachs. There you go. It's a careless whisper right there is what you're looking for. I'm never gonna dance again.
I love that song, man.
It's just got the right amount of melodrama that it just works. Because you're like, right? I don't want to dance again, but I do. It's so hard. It's so hard.
So hard to dance again. The way I danced with you.
Yeah. Should do like a William Shatner. It's like, I'm never going to dance again. I'm never gonna
never gonna dance. Never gonna dance again. Not the way I danced with you.
Bravo. Tell William Shatner to take himself home. You just took the gold. That we're just like, you can't beat me at this game.
I'll tell you what, you can't beat me at this game, boy.
God dang it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby. You almost made me spit out my beer.
I can I that's all I can do. This is that, and God dang it, Dale. God dang it, Dale.
See? I need some WD-40 and a tap and die. What about a hammer? Do you know what a dang hammer is?
God dang it, Bill.
I think my favorite was there was a Pokemon crossover where he's like, I choose you, Butterfree. Butterfree.
Oh, Lord, oh.
I love that shit so much.
I like when Bobby took a self-defense class at a woman's class.
Explode! Oh wait, no.
That's my purse. I don't know you. That's my purse. I don't know you. And he does it, and he can't do it to Peggy. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Peggy's like, I have no balls. Good luck.
Yeah, no, that is a pretty good hit kill. I like when Peggy is trying to teach Spanish and she doesn't do yo soy Peggy Hill, and then it's just like yeah.
I actually, whenever I go to Spanish places, I try to speak like Peggy Hill and be like, grassy ass and de nada.
¿Por qué? ¿Qué? What? ¿Qué?
Okay. Nah, so the reason why Half Pine is because I used to want to be a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out how annoying the job was because you're going to sit there and you'd be like, yes, 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 yeah, yes, yes, yes. But you have to do like 1,000 more times until they find the exact cadence they want and they find exactly what they want. And that's why the only way I'm ever going to do voice acting is if I do it on my own stream or other people's streams just to be stupid.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that the creator Mike Judge was the voice of Hank Hill, but he was also the voice of Boomhauer.
Yeah,
right there. You know,
oh, dang old Bob, we gotta go down the road. You can give us some dang old beer. And God damn it, Bill, Boomhauer, I can't understand a word you ever say, but you are right.
I remember with the episode where they were volunteer firefighters, and there was that one point where Boomhauer was speaking slowly and everyone else was speaking fast. Do that, smoke rat. And I was like,
I like that. Dude, holding Hank Hill for that long is a nightmare. I'm not gonna be honest with you, like, because he's saying a group show, Hank with Jordan Peterson. And then who would be the third?
Who would be the third? If
somebody could do Trump, I think that would be pretty fun.
That's not, you're not gonna find it with me. I about as can do a Kermit, and that's about it. That's about as much. Yeah, not even. No, now you're just showing off. But anyway, you've come here to show off.
Yeah.
I've come here to show up and pump you up. That's a horrible.
I love the Hans and Franz be like, we are here to pump you up.
That's right. I am Hans. He is Franz. Yeah, come on. Let's go exercise.
Exactly.
Let's go work out.
Or like old dude. We like to wear tight pants to show off our bulges.
Look, you come here. We teach you how to live bar, and you be like, oh, super strong.
I love it. Anyone can do voices. It just takes practice and sounding.
Sure.
Like, has people like whenever I hang out with people and they're like, oh, I can't do voices. It's like, yes, you can. You can literally do any other voice other than your own. You're doing a voice. And so like that small victory gives them like that confidence to be like, oh yeah. Okay.
I just like to do a little German. Yeah, come in, do a little German. How are you Americans today? Yes. How are you today?
That's fucking good, dude. That's like listening to Rick Toffin on Black Ops.
We may have beaten you a little bit, but you won. Look at that. Yay.
Yeah, Mr. May does do a good Shaggy and Scooby voice.
Like Scoob.
There you go.
Like Scoob, it's not gonna get any better. Where's some Scooby snacks?
You see what I'm saying? Like, people have their voices. So like that's why I mess with Silver, because like Silver Fox, he does a lot of voices. I think his Jordan Peterson and his Kermit are better than he thinks.
Yeah.
And he's always like, man, because like when he does his Hank Hill, he goes, God dang it, Dale. And like, so it's a little airy. So, he's like, just going, dang it. And I'm like, you got to tighten it up just a tiny bit. And then, God dang it, Dale. And so, like, because if you start off airy, it's like, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. But man, when he does Jordan Peterson is like so great because he's always like putting himself down like, oh, I don't do a voice that great. And it's like, no, dude, your Petersons are pretty awesome.
Yeah, I guess people are seeing the dog. Whoa, man, that's a big dog. Oh, it wants what's in the bottle.
No, it's a little makeshift barrier because I was cleaning my room. There's a corgi right next to him.
Oh, goodness. Well, the big dog overshadows the little dog, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's what you should do now. Now that you have dogs, you just have a dog cam and just be like, oh, and everyone's like, hey, if you donate $1, you might give something to him. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, for every $1 you donate, I pet the dog.
For every $1 you don't donate, the dog gets no pets. The dog gets no pets.
For every $1 not donated.
This dog gets one.
This is one of those airsoft. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's because it's.
Oh.
So like it's got those little glow in the dark BBs.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it's the only thing that my cat will listen to. I gotta manhandle the giant because it's like when you have a big dog, you gotta like put them down and be like, I am the alpha.
Yeah.
So like right now off screen, I gotta hold him down because I told him you don't be doing that stuff while I'm in the middle of something. Okay, you gotta go outside. Okay, let me let them out right fast. 2 seconds. This is how you have to go. Come on,
go. Oh no. Oh, that's right. Tommy did get a new puppy. He's got a Bernese. Yeah, he got a Bernese puppy. I think it was. But yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I've always had big dogs or like, dogs that are powerful. So you have to train them and
yeah, dogs like a horse. Like Great Danes are probably the biggest dogs I know of out there.
Yeah,
those suckers can pummel you over if you're not careful.
Yeah, he's 270 pounds, and so like he's they call that's a oh my god, why is my brain blanking out? Saint Bernard.
Oh, Saint Bernard. Ooh.
They have bigger versions of him,
Mm-hmm.
and those are like the Malamutes, and like then they have Akitas and stuff, like the Japanese bear fighting dogs. Man, those things are huge and mean because they're fighting bears.
Jeez.
But can I pet that dog? Yes.
But I need a $1 true bill. Can you give me a $1 true bill for the dog petting? Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Oh, mercy. I gotta cool off for a second. I love it when those creatures get like that. They're like, holy Lord. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta cool off from the Lord's Prayer.
He can pull your car when you break down at least. I don't know about that.
He probably could, but I don't have a car. I have a moped.
There you go.
So like basically the way it works is when I moved out of the country, I sold my truck and I bought a moped. And then I got back to the country, and my buddy who also was overseas with me, we're not military. We just did this for stupid traveling reasons. Anyway, we got back here, and then he's like, we got to buy a moped. So we bought 3 of them. And now I have 3 mopeds. Yeah. 2 of them that don't work and 1 that works.
Mm-hmm.
Got to fix up 2 of them. But there's something about riding a little crappy moped.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at you stupid. It's like, bro, I pay $5 a month in gas. So
yeah.
I don't care. You can call me gay all you want. Like, look at me stupid. Because it's like, I'm at that age where I don't care anymore about insults. And I'm not like, oh, shit, take the damn dollar to stop triggering my PTSD from ASPCA commercials. In the arms of an angel,
Fly
you can find peace. For just
And I-
$1 a day, you too can take care of these dogs. Yes,
It's not-
that's true.
Not like Bob Barker going to say, "Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets." Like, okay,
Don't
Bob.
forget to spay or neuter your pets.
There you go. Give a little Bob Barker to those kids out there.
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, I'm sad that Bob Barker's not alive to see Happy Gilmore too.
Really? I didn't know he had passed recently.
Mm,
I thought he was still alive.
a while back, I think. Like a few years ago.
Oh yeah, August 26, 2023. Dang.
Oh, last year. God
Yeah.
dang, it feels like time been flying, but for real, it's only been 1 year.
Well, and
It's sobbing uncontrollably.
he went before he became 100 years old. And that's the same thing that happened with Betty White.
Betty White, yeah.
She was so close to being 100 years old, and then it was 2022, going into 2023.
Bruh, that little pirate puppy with one eye, I wasn't ready. It's like, and if you donate today, poor Petey can have another eye patch to remove the bandages.
That would show you the most hurt ones. Like, but there's a dog right there that's capable of fighting. No. We need all these dogs that are missing a piece. We need all those dogs now.
Bro, for real, animals are good at faking stuff. Because, like, all right, when I was in India, there was this group of dogs that would beg everyone. Like, but they'd hang out by the airport because they know, like, tourists come in and they give them snacks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, this dog would come hopping up with one leg, like, oh my God, my foot's hurt. And then a guy would, like, run out, like one of the security guards, and be like, hey. And the dog would just run off, like, oh, shit, they caught me.
Yep.
And it's like, bro, these dogs are genius beggars now. Because I like this one lady, she was trying to, like, beg me for money for food.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got this food right here. I'm going to give you this food. She's like, I don't want your fucking food. I wanted money. I was like, you said it was money for food. So now I know it's money for foot picks. This woman is addicted.
It's money for the cracks. But anyway, no, that's funny. That'd be funny too. Is they try to look all cutesy and stuff. Like, dude, you look like you've lost a few teeth. I don't think cutesy's in your department. Well, and it's a funny thing too is when you see these panhandles out there. It's like, I can see you have a cell phone, so you ain't poor.
Yeah, I know, right?
So,
and usually they get dropped off by like a main vehicle, and they all get picked up, and they live in the same house usually. I lived next to a house like that in Austin, Texas, where like these panhandlers every morning they get in the truck, they roll out, and then they'd get dropped off at each major intersection, and then they would panhandle and all come home at night, put all their money together, and then come bug me to help them like get stuff. And be like, you dummy, I ain't gonna help you. Like, it's like, bro, no. This is like years back, because before they had all the legal weed everywhere. And, man, I'm so glad now it's not like the Wild West anymore, because weed's legal. I got my license. I work at a dispensary as well. I got like a side job there. I'm a tester, 'cause like my bosses, they don't smoke, so they know I have a high tolerance, and they're like, here, test this out for me. Tell me, is it any good? And then I'm just like, nah, this fucking sucks. And
can you tell this one's poisonous or not? Luckily,
I don't have to do that kind of test. I'm doing testing like whether the grower did a good job on like the terpene flavor profiles and stuff like that. And because a lot of the growers, they grow some like crap. So a great example is like, I got these are like, all right, so these are just testers for genetics. So the guy who grew it did like a terrible job. It's like airy, all the buds like fall apart when you barely touch them. Whereas like if you go for something that is like a finished product, you can get, these are little rabbit turd buds, but they're dense as hell. Like all of these are like when you drop them, they go tink.
Yeah.
And this one is my favorite strain. It's Oreo Punch. It's a strain that I helped grow at one of these, like, it was this big grow house I had to go work at for a while. And the dude gave me such a really good discount. And then he sold a bunch to my bosses. And now my bosses are giving me an even bigger discount because it's like they got a discount and I'm getting a discount on top of it. So it's like, yes. So I can get it really cheap.
Now all we need is a true Pineapple Express and we'll be okay.
I know, right? This I bought this ounce of dabs yesterday. It was on sale for $80. And I was pretty happy because usually I don't go to other dispensaries, but since my bosses are out of town, I was like, all right, I gotta go check somewhere else. And the dude hooked me up, and the stuff is really good. It's a live resin, and I got 28 grams for $80.
Discount Dan.
Discount Dan. I'm Discount Dan. Come on down to Discount Dan's Auto Repair Shop, where if it's dented, I'll fix it.
A Discount Dan is more on the 5-finger plan, so be careful.
Discount Dan, what happened to your car? I don't know.
They took it to a chop shop, sir. They took all my parts. No, but that's a fun. So does that mean you do the gummies as well, or no? You don't.
Edibles don't work on me because I have an enzyme in my liver that prevents it from acting. So when I get the water-soluble nanoparticle THC, it's like, so they do a lot of fancy food science to THC oil to make it to where it bypasses your liver and goes straight into your blood veins. So when you eat the edibles, it's just like it goes in through your mouth versus going down into your stomach and then breaking up.
Yeah.
Those work. Or like THCA. So like this is pure THCA diamonds that my bosses make in Texas. And the other thing, like that stuff works because it's like it's strong. And like all my prescription pain medications I used to be on, I got to throw all that shit away because like I have Crohn's disease and like a couple other issues. But like now I got my weed, I got a bunch of fucking different types. I have this oil right here, which is like a super high dose of like, so it's, this one is about to get upgraded again. So it's at 450 milligrams of CBN, 900 milligrams of CBG, and then 3,200 milligrams of CBD. And so like this is for when my stomach is just being a total dick and I need to like calm it down quick. And the rest of it's to like maintain. So like for people wondering like, why does he smoke so much? And it's because if I don't, I'm gonna be in the dang hospital on a bunch of pills again. And like I don't want the medical industry keeping me under a giant boot of debt, which like I'm over $500,000 in medical debt. So it's like, yeah, the medical industry here is a nightmare. So that's another big reason I went to India.
Yeah.
Because like when I went there, my doctor was like, we're gonna take you off of everything. We're just gonna change your lifestyle. And like I told him about the weed. He was like, oh, I don't care. Weed's good.
Yeah. No, it's I think that's the issues where you are being prescribed more medications for stuff that really doesn't need a medication. And it could just involve you not eating a lot of junk food.
Yeah,
right?
Or stop eating sugar.
Yeah, that too. I mean, there's a lot of different ways about it, but we're not at that point. It's more like, because for me, part of my issue was, high cholesterol. My mom said the family, and they were trying to push for putting me on high cholesterol meds. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I want to try to get this down as naturally as possible. And I did for a time, and then I kind of goofed up and went back. But the point of the matter is once you're on that stuff, you're on it pretty much for your life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be. Why would I need to take medication for the rest of my life when it's just something as simple as not eating shite at a restaurant?
Yeah, that's true. And like to go by with Lost Tales, parasite cleaning is very important. But I'm gonna be honest with you, the process is not fun. So like my first week in India.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I was living like a freaking king. Like I felt great. Like all of those parasites were out of my body. I felt amazing. I'm here. Have a good night, Smay. And then now in America, I just get sick all the time again. And it's like, oh man. I can't wait to go back overseas though.
I'm just here's the thing, because I have a dietary drive of a raccoon. Well, don't jump in those trash cans there, Half Pine. It's not gonna be pretty. Although if I see you sneaking in my trash cans again, I'm gonna start smacking. You're gonna get the boot. After you feel
Be
great.
careful about my trash cans. That dog eats raccoons.
Yeah, Half Pine, go over there.
I know, right? My body must be 99% parasites then. Damn.
Because I have a dietary drive of a raccoon.
That's
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, it's not fun of a day of the crap the food stuff is out there, but at the end of the day, I try to eat more on a healthy basis, and all that stuff. But it's still difficult, especially when your food is at home. But I do that, and like you're saying, I do try to keep it simple. I think part of the problem is people go to the convenience factor to get it done quickly, even though you'll end up waiting in a line and all this other stuff. It's just it just pointless. So, but for me, because I've tried to buy, like more steak stuff. I've bought more fruit, cut up fruit, and all that stuff. There's a lot of small things you can do. It's just being willing to take that route, and it's not an easy road. It's not an easy road.
No, it is not. But thanks to the carnivore diet, I gained back. I went from 130 pounds back to 200. So, yeah, I lost way too much weight and felt sick and like I was gonna die. Yeah. And the carnivore diet helped me get back to like a healthy, manageable weight, which it's pretty great.
Yeah, no, and it's not. Of course, there's all different diet things out there, like Atkins and whatnot. So you just have to find out what works for you. But it's about doing what's best for your body rather than just like, hopping on a diet and saying this is the one I'll do forever. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You got to be willing to respond to what is being said to you. Gumbercules, I love that guy. Oh, Gumbercules.
He's gonna have the power of Hercules and the flexibility of Gumby. Gumbercules? I love that guy.
That's so great. That's so wonderful.
I love that show. Futurama is just a great fucking show.
Yeah, didn't they reboot that
again for the third time? They actually work it into like the very first episode back. They work that in too. Like they're like, we're gonna have to have some kind of explanation. Yeah. Not easy to maintain a diet when most healthy food is so expensive and the shelf life is 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Grow your own food, brother man.
Not everyone can. That's another issue.
You can even in like an apartment with no yard, you can make hanging gardens fairly easy out of like certain vegetables. So like plant stuff like leafy greens, so easy to grow on like just a water bottle, you know what I mean? And then so like when I was over in like New Orleans area and stuff like that, where there wasn't much, like, you don't get a yard sometimes, but in Baton Rouge, where my hometown area are, like those places, you can grow anything all year round. But then you get up here, a lot of my plants have to be inside, because like it's hot and dry. So bring them inside. So like if you want some good food, there is certain things you can grow in your house that are just constantly regenerating. So like you get you some lettuce, like different types of lettuce. Butter lettuce is super easy to grow and it's delicious. And then you can get stuff like kale and things like that. You just keep clipping it and it'll keep growing. Basil grows like a weed, you know what I mean? And all this stuff can help at least give you a little something. So like just something.
Managed to grow a small amount of sweet corn. Ooh, that's not bad at all.
Oh yeah.
I love sweet corn. I just love the old fashioned because there was a family get together where someone had like this huge tub of like it was butter and water or something like that, and you just take the ear of corn and just dip it in there. I like cooking it over a fire within keeping the husk on
Yeah,
because it
roast corn.
yeah because you can if you keep it in water for a certain period of time and then put it over fire, it'll self cook itself because it's just
Yeah,
steaming up the corn inside, which is awesome.
and the hilarious thing about that silk and the husk is
Yeah.
it adds flavor to the corn that people don't realize. Because like if you take corn husks and
Mm.
corn silk,
Yeah.
like corn husk you're gonna use for stuff like tamales and whatnot, but the
Yeah.
corn silk you can use for tea. So
Interesting.
like corn silk tea is very popular in Asian cultures and is very delicious and it's sweet. So like whenever you're roasting your corn over the fire with
Mm.
all that silk and the husk in there, the husk is sealing it shut and that silk is like sweetening up that corn and it's so good.
Mm.
And like that's why a lot of people love that whole like roasted corn in the husk. In fact, that's
Mhm.
my favorite way to do it because it's like one of the easiest methods, and it's
Yeah.
one of the best methods.
Yeah, it's a self container, right?
Yeah.
You basically have the container growing with it. So all you
Yeah.
need to do is soak it in. I know some people do like maybe sugar or salt, either one, but you just put it in water, let it soak for a period of time, and then put it over a fire,
Yeah.
and just kind of let it steam from there. And it doesn't take like forever, but still, I enjoy that portion more than husking it and then putting in a tub, and then because it's
Yeah.
just a lot more work. You can have all in one go and then just husk it after or have the husk holding on while you're dipping it in butter or whatever.
Another good thing is when you roast it like that,
Yeah.
or if you microwave your corn in the husk, which is another way to cook it. But if you roast it like that, cut the bottom
Yeah.
and then hold the top where the silk it'll be gone by the time you roast it. But you
Yeah.
hold the top and you squeeze it like like a tube of toothpaste.
Yeah.
The corn comes out with no silk and nothing on it. So like
Interesting.
it's one of the easiest ways to husk corn. So like that's how I husk all my corn.
Mm.
And in the restaurants, since most of the time you're having to do so much,
Yeah.
you just chop them tip like so like the back end. So like you
Yeah.
got the pointy top at the
Yeah.
tip and the
Yeah.
fat end,
Yeah.
chop that off about like yay much.
Yeah.
And then just squeeze that top and it slides right out. Because if you roasted it or steamed it, it's going to slide right out perfectly every time.
Wow. Goodness, I
Yeah.
gotta start writing this stuff down. Okay, hold on. Yeah. No, but that's pretty awesome. Look at that. Dogs and a cat. And just
Well,
like
this is Meow Yin. She's in every thumbnail because I have a fat cat, but she don't like to sit still for pictures. So like I used another cat in the picture.
and the cat's just like, I don't want to be here. This is annoying. Stop annoying me.
The worst part is like I have to tell her to run away, be like, go bitch. Because she'll sit here and wait and be like, am I able to leave? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And she's still sitting right next to me trying to beg for attention. Oh, there she is behind me.
Give me some of your love.
All of your love. She's jealous. She wants attention. That's why every time I'm streaming, she'll like jump around and be like, kitty time.
Kitty time.
Sure, this guy would be a legend around a campfire.
There you go.
Maybe. What kind of campfire?
Yeah, the one that doesn't involve burning.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, the one that's not involving like a huge bonfire that burns your face off. That's probably the.
And as long as nobody's burning an lowercase t for time to leave, then I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Why does it smell like Why does it smell like it's gonna blow?
I know, right? So a lot of bonfires are really fun. Like, so if you like bonfires, Louisiana does some really great ones. They build
Yeah.
shapes.
Oh yeah.
And so like they actually have a competition of who makes the best bonfire shape. So you have like alligators, you have crocodiles,
Mm.
and gators, and you'll have crawfish, and you'll have crabs. Yeah, like everything generic Southern. So like you'll even have things from other countries sometimes
Mm.
because they just want to build something crazy. What other kind of bonfire is there other than the ones that melt your face from 50 feet away? Underground bonfires.
Ooh.
Dig a pit, baby, and stand out in the freezing cold. So like that's what we do. The only time I have fires is when it's cold as fuck or like
Yeah.
snowing. So I
Yeah.
don't usually be making fires in the summer.
Yeah, because it's too hot. Or during the
Yeah.
winter, that's when you make a big bonfire. It's like, oh, it's something cold. -20. It feels
Yeah,
like
it's
32.
all right. I got
It
a
feels like,
fire here to keep me warm.
it's
And
like 32 degrees. That's it. Come on.
yeah.
Or you can have his barbecue, propane barbecue. Ah, how about that?
Whoa. No, I don't use propane as much as like Hank Hill. I'll use propane if I'm at people's houses,
Yeah.
but my house is strictly wood. I go and I harvest my wood and I split it myself. I
Nice.
I make sure that it's properly done. I dry it out, cure it. I got fresh pecan wood for when I want to smoke, and then I got like a lot of hardwoods,
Yeah.
like to do the more heavy duty cooking. So you know, I love my wood.
Oh, don't say that at a party.
Fire hole, my
What?
friend. I know, right?
And it
I don't
can,
know
yeah.
what a Dakota fire hole is. Oh, that would be a Dakota fire hole.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, they kind of banned us in the UK from having fires. That sucks. That really sucks. You can't have a bonfire. You can't have a fire in the UK. Yeah, that sucks.
How is
Hardwood.
that like? I still don't understand how the UK is getting away with all this stuff. It's like, what
I,
the hell? What a
I,
poor
anyway, I think it's mostly the people that are allowing it. Because I mean, again, they're not gonna get away with things if you stop allowing them to. And I
Yeah, I know,
think
right?
is underground fire. Like you said, just look it up. It's pretty dope. Now he's gonna make you do homework.
I'm doing it right meow.
So when he says he's doing his homework, just hold on for it. You'll see him do it well. But yeah, hardwoods. That's hilarious. Yes, I got my oak and my maple over here. Oh, that's what you meant. Wait, what did you think I meant? Nothing.
I know, right? What was you just talking about?
Don't worry about it at all. It's
Oh wow, that is cool as fuck. That is damn near exactly what the fuck I was talking about. I didn't know that was a name for it.
Dakota Firehole.
Wow.
That looks like a special treat.
Wow. It's basically just using a fire underground, pot on the hole, another hole for ventilation.
Yeah.
It's genius.
Let's see.
Genius.
Let me show up. Boom. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, wow.
So
Digging
they
the fire hole.
you gotta find a location, right? Then you gotta dig the fire hole. Cause yeah, look at that long shovel right there. Look at that. Then you got an oxygen supply hole. Holy crap. That's like 2 holes in one right there. Oh, so it's like a airflow hole. And then you gotta make a connection tunnel. Look at that. Oh, of course you gotta start the fire too. There's that too. Look at that. You've just had a Dakota fire hole. That's looks like a rocket stove. Yeah, that's true. It does kind of look like a rocket stove.
It's basically the same concept.
Yeah. It's just it's not underground.
Yeah.
It's the concept. But yeah. There was also one too where they do like pits and stuff, but that's not a Dakota fire hole.
Yeah, I was talking more like a fire pit where it's just like deep enough to where the coals are away from you and it heats up the ground.
It's for stealthy fires, no glow, very little smoke, and when you're done, just kick the dirt over it. No evidence of a fire bet. Oh my gosh, we've got a CIA agent.
That's genius. I like it. I'll be using it.
uses the air intake to accelerate burn speed. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You
That
got
means
it.
I can use a wok on it. Because
Yeah.
with a wok, you need high temperature.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So
And
like
and
a
your
rocket stove would be amazing.
yeah, and then your ground is sort of the natural holder. Yours is
Yeah.
just like, uh, and then ever seen a fool try to start a fire with gas? Does not end well. Well, there's two different kind of gases I think you're talking about there, and they're both foolish. All right.
Yeah. So a lot of times rednecks will use diesel or like oil because it burns slower but hotter.
Mhm.
And like it's a pain in the ass to get started. So you'll have to use a torch usually, and then it just be like, and then it
Yeah.
finally burns. But I don't use none of that stuff to get my fire started. I just use a match. And
Yeah.
so like that's all you need. A little bit of match and just proper like building of the fire to where
Mhm.
there's no smother points and you have a lot of airflow and you have
Yeah.
some really good like tinder at first.
Yeah.
Everything will burn as long as it's dry enough.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more of the after having a bean burrito type of gas, so that was
Oh
the
yeah. That'll hurt. That'll go inside your body and burn you from the inside. So be careful. Don't be starting on fires, kids. Diesel, fitty diesel and used motor oil. We call it Jesus juice where I come from. That's a good combo because that definitely starts a good fire. And like everybody I grew up with was like that. You know what I mean? Because rednecks and Cajuns are not so different.
There you go. All you need is some handy tools, and you're ready to go.
That's
Jesus juice. That's something in itself right here. I want to know why they call it Jesus juice. What is it? Or maybe they're trying to say Hesse
right.
juice. Jesus. It's Jesus juice.
Jesus juice.
Did you hear about Jesus? He has this juice, man, and he lights everything on fire. It's so awesome.
He's so great, man.
Yeah, he comes over. He tries to shoot up people, but he's like cool about it. He's like poo poo, and he's trying to do like these coolio tricks.
I got fucking juice, son.
How much you want to buy it for, huh? You want to buy it for 50, 40? Come on, what you got? What you got? What you got?
Say, I got that 50 Jesus juice, man. Come on.
That's
Get
you, juice.
fires.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? When your mama tell you to
Love it.
stop selling that stuff?
Because when you splash it over the bonfire, the people who aren't paying attention scream, Jesus! Jesus!
Holy crap, that fire's big. I know, huh?
I know. That is a big fire.
Oh, man.
Bro, that would be hilarious. Every time you add like any kind of pine wood to a fire,
Oh, yeah.
it's hilarious because it's like if people aren't ready for it, that fire just go, and there's like, oh shit, what the hell? It's like, yeah, remember these trees give off fucking like flammable fluids that you can make wood gas out of.
And they're called sap.
Right?
That's where you keep a dinosaur in. It just reminds me.
They're like, whoa,
That
I want to watch Jurassic Park now.
That just reminds me of that one scene where they're in Jurassic Park. And I'm going to tell you how dinosaurs are made.
I love like that part because you know that movie came out when I was a kid, and it was important to me.
Yeah,
because dinosaurs were cool as fuck, and some old man trying to bring them back to life. Like, all right, fast forward 30 years, and holy crap, they're doing it now. Like they're bringing back to life mammoths, and they're releasing them in Siberia because they want to try to let the mammoths take back over their tundras.
Oh,
and it's like, what the fuck?
That's not how you do it at all. Put them down.
Dude, I'm half excited but half worried because it's like, what if they try to bring back other things? There's certain creatures that don't need to be brought back.
That's right. We don't need the chupacabra to come back. That's for sure. El chupacabra, huh? Trying to bring it back from the dead? I thought they took that out years ago, eh?
That's true. I haven't heard about the chupacabra in a long time. What happened? Did they kill him?
They probably did. They probably
Jurassic Park came out the year I was born. Damn.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. You get to watch it as a baby. He's like, oh my gosh, can you believe it's his first movie? Honey,
I know,
he's not gonna understand the movie at all. He's just a baby.
Dude, my first movie was actually a TV show because it was Monty Python and the Flying Circus.
Ooh,
And
nice.
it was on in the room where I was being born. And my parents made jokes and was like, that's why you have dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that explains everything.
Every time I look into the future, I see a dry joke somewhere. No, I enjoy some of the stuff from it. Of course, there's like, you'd watch it on PBS, whatever, because that's where they normally show it.
Yeah.
But one of the skits I liked that they did was called The Killing Joke. it was just like, wait, you could make a joke to kill people? Hold on. Joke.
Jurassic Park came out the same year Hip's shirt was. Yeah, it did. That is true. Came out the same year my shirt was made.
Right. always messing with things. I get humanity for you. Always messing with things when then it goes wrong and they're like, we are so sorry. Or they just say nothing, sit there and smile and deny. That's right, kids. Smile and deny.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't. That's Shaggy got it right. It wasn't me.
It was Kamala Harris.
This is something. I don't remember when I first saw it, but Mom says I screamed. That's probably because she went to show you Scream.
Yeah, Scream was terrible. No, just it was a good movie when it came out, but like going back and rewatching it, I was like, man, these old movies don't age well.
I knew who the killer was within the first 5 minutes. I solved the puzzle.
Right, man.
It's funny how you have, It's funny how you have these some of these movies where the evil guy's heavy-handed, like he's not. They don't say they're evil, but they kind of have that look like the evil's like, hey, yeah, we know it's him. Is anyone else watching? This guy's evil. 5 minutes later,
fucking evil, bro. And then the guy you think is evil, turns out to be good. And it's like, whoa, wait a second. That's why I've always gotten like, I've never been really good at kind gestures.
Yeah.
Like growing up, I was a drug dealer my whole childhood, and like, fucking all kinds of stupid shit. Because in the ghetto, they get kids to sell drugs so that they don't go to jail, and then they don't go to jail.
Yeah.
And all they do is, where'd you get the drugs? Like, I don't know, found it. But the funny part is growing up like that made me like suspicious of everyone, and then think that everybody's out to get you when they're trying to do something nice for you. So like, I get to Rumble, and all these people are like donating and then subbing and like doing stuff, and I'm like, what do you want? What's going on? What's happening here? What? And like, I never expected that kind of level of kindness, and so it's like, to me it physically hurts because I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know how to react to this. I'm used to mean people. It's easier with mean people because it's like, oh, you want to be a dick? All right, that's easy. Fuck you. But it's like nice people. I'm like, wait.
Does not compute.
I know.
Error. I need backup.
Exactly. And then like with my autism, I get like overwhelmed, and I'm like, oh shit. See, motherfuckers trying to like get over on me? Or are they trying to? But then I have to remember, nobody's like, I'm fucking like 10 years, much longer than 10 years at this point, but I haven't had to do drug dealing since I was like a teenager. So I don't have to worry about those people no more. Plus, most of them are dead because of they all got addicted to fentanyl and stupid shit like that. And they didn't listen whenever all the older people were like, you shouldn't do that. You're going to die.
Yeah, sort of like the Great Christmas.
Don't do drugs, kids. And don't sit in the chat with me, kids, because I do a lot of weed smoking.
You should do it in the Hank Hill's voice.
Don't do drugs, kids.
I come here every day to my Bible school, and I'm here to tell you what. Don't do.
I gotta drink beer to do it right, because like Hank Hill requires beer.
That's right. Requires Arlington beer. Yo, what up, Blip Blop?
I'll tell you what, a good old-fashioned dab or a little marijuana is all you need. Don't do drugs, kids.
Marijuana. I just go with ganja because it sounds funnier.
Yeah, ganja is awesome. I like ganja. That's a great word.
Then go like, you get it from India or something? It's not like that's just another word. It's like calling it Mary Jane. That's another word for it.
Ganja can come from all over. Like, so that they say it in Jamaica. They do say it in India. They say it in Thailand. They say it in some parts of China.
Yeah.
So, like, there's other names for it in those countries, but it's kind of like a globally acceptable thing to just say ganja. And it's funny. The weed, like in other countries, is way better than the stuff we get here, and it looks like crap, and it tastes like crap. But you could tell it's pure, and it don't got no chemicals or no crazy shit, and they're not trying to kill you.
When Hank accidentally smoked weed,
I smoked marijuana. Oh God! Oh, the cops are coming after me.
Hank is so straight-laced, he's like his urethra.
Peggy, don't go talking about my narrow urethra.
I remember, and then he's got like a slim butt.
Yeah. I got the no acetol syndrome. Wait, Hank. Hold on, wait. What is he asking? Hank, wait, propane and propane accessories. Nobody likes propane and propane accessories.
And there was a time where Luann was moving out and she's moving back into her home in the trailer park. And unfortunately, a tornado's coming. That was funny too. And the funny thing was they're holding on, and then the eye of the storm comes and Hank's got to come, but his clothes are just all off. And so he either has the option of getting a lady's dress or a cactus. And so he goes, the old lady is like, I've seen so many pickles in my time. It's no different.
A barrel of pickles in my time. Hey now, I have a Hank Hill ass. Don't be making fun of Hank Hill's ass.
It's too funny. But then he chooses like the cactus, and he goes in because what was it that Bobby was trying to do, like the egg thing where like just go through stuff, and it just ended up right on his face.
Yeah, he threw the egg and it flew back and hit him in the face. And
that was funny.
That was so great. And so my favorite part is like, is Luann still alive? Because he's naked. He's just like, I don't want to come in there if Luann's alive.
Yeah. That was too funny. But yeah, it's kind of sad though, because I do know they had talked about remaking it, but there's some voice actors that just aren't coming back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So I wonder what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Because Brittany Murphy was probably the first one of all of them to go.
Yeah, she passed away, man.
God
rest her soul.
Yeah. And that's a story in itself right there, Brittany Murphy. And then, of course, the guy who did Dale's voice just, I think, passed this year.
Yeah.
I think he passed this year, and that's another thing right there. But it's I get it, but I always find it funny when people, a celebrity passes, like, of course, James Earl Jones, and then the guy who did the voice of the Shredder and the animation. So you kind of see it, and it's like, oh man, it's like the 2024 is the worst. People in 1983 probably said the same thing for about as many people died during then too.
Yep, it's exactly how it works. It's called the rule of threes usually. And like 3 celebrities will pass away at a time. It's really weird. I made up a conspiracy theory that it's actually how they replace them into because they're like, okay, you're finally old enough for us to fake your death. Now we're gonna move you into another part of the world where it's like underground cities.
Yeah, well, you can't fake a 90-something-year-old stuff. I mean, at a certain point, you do go, but supposedly, it's sort of like with Elvis Presley. He's supposedly dead, but he just went back home.
Yeah, you hear all these like crazy people talk about like de-aging technology and stuff like that, and you're like, what in the hell? Like, how is this possible? And then you look at people like George Soros, who it's like, wait a minute, how is he still walking around like this? Like, yeah, he looks old as fuck, but he's doing stuff. Like, he's out moving and like doing things. It's weird. I'd expect him to be like, you know what I mean? Like laid up or something.
Like Thriller. Like you just be out there like
Yeah, right.
with no music.
Not Rusty Shackelford.
Yeah, Rusty Shackelford. And then you
Bro,
got Pocket Sand.
you could cosplay fucking Dale. That would be great. You just got to get like a bunch of cigarettes, like
And orange clothing.
yeah, dude. Oh my god, that would work perfect with the sunglasses you got and the hat.
I'm not telling you nothing, Hank. I'm not gonna tell you nothing at all.
Shit, you want to do a Hank Hill episode? That's how we'll do it. You be Dale. Like, God damn it, Dale. We're not talking about the Nazis. We're talking about Kamala Harris.
Hank, don't you know the gold is still gone, Hank? The Nazi gold is still gone. Gotta find that gold, Hank. Gotta find.
It'd be so great.
I'm just mixing up Rusty Shackelford and then Rick right there. Come on, Morty. Morty, just find the gold. The Nazi gold is out there. Morty, you gotta look for it. It's out there. It's out there, Morty.
Way up your butt.
Yeah.
I
just
love
can't.
that show.
I just can't do it that much. But no, yeah, that's funny stuff as well. It's like he's trying to do a crossover of Dale and Rick, and you just got your something wild there.
You can. It's always fun.
I can't do it. I can't do it, Hank. I can't do no more. All that stuff. Hey, Lost Tales. Elvis
impersonators. Yes, I did hear about that insanity. And when I told my grandmother about it, she was like, what? Nah. And I was like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt for a minute that Elvis just faked his death and then rolled out because like he was too famous, and maybe because like you see all these celebrities getting killed or like I don't know, maybe he was like, oh, I'm gonna whistle blow on this stuff, and they're like, well, we're gonna kill him, and he's like, oh hell no, I'm gonna have a heart attack with the shitter, let's go. Well, and then he just disappears.
He disappears into the ether, never to be seen again. I just like going with the MIB version where it says, "Oh, he didn't die. He just went home."
That was a great one, man. Men in Black is such a good show, like a good movie. I really enjoy the very first one and the second one a lot.
Yeah.
The third one's all right.
Yeah.
And the fourth one's
The fourth one I don't consider as much because it doesn't have that J and K dynamic, because without them it doesn't work.
No, it does not. Like even though Will Smith has his issues.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, Will Smith was one of my heroes. And it's depressing to see him fall so far. Yeah. It's like, bro, you used to be Fresh fucking Prince, and now you're this?
Yep.
You kidding me? Like, come on, man. And then, like, you watch him and what's his face? Oh God, I can't even remember his name. But the older dude, like having the two of them together, because the dichotomy of like an older, like grizzled man.
Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee, yeah, I think that was it. Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, yep.
Every time I say Tommy Lee Jones, I think of like the Pamela Anderson guy that's like banging her on the boat or whatever. But anyway, so the Men in Black combo of those two is just so perfect, because it's like they tried to do it with what is it, Hemsworth, and then that black girl on the newer one.
Yeah.
I like both of those people separately. but together I don't feel like it fit right. It just didn't. One of them would have had to been so if it would have been I would have been happier with an older white lady and a young sassy black girl combo because that would have been kind of funny.
Yeah.
And like as much as people shrug off all the female versions of things with MIB, it could work because it's a freaking agency.
Yeah.
And yes, there is multiple other agents. And you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if they tried something,
Yeah.
but just try it and be silly with it. Don't try it and be like, don't try to be serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it to be fun. Like,
Yeah.
I wish movies would just be fun again instead of trying to have a message.
Yeah, and Men in Black. I mean, Men in Black was that, especially when he had that surprise appearance by Michael Jackson in number 2.
Yeah. That was great.
Zed, I'd like to be Agent M. Zed.
Bro, when that happened, I like about cried laughing because I did not expect that because the South Park episode had just happened.
Yeah.
With the Mr. Jefferson. That's ignorant. No. I want to be Aiden. Come on, man.
Come on, man. You wanna what is it? You wanna get high? Mr. Towley.
Towley. Dude, that's my buddy. He always says that I'm basically Towley because I got this job testing weed and all that stuff. And I was like, nah, man. I'm not Towel. You're a Towel.
Yeah, and then of course the same guy does Mr. Hank howdy ho, Mr. Hanky right here.
Mr. Hanky. The Christmas
right. It would be good or even okay. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is why I get the complaints against the entertainment industry. Really the only way these people will ever respond and change is if you affect their bottom line, which is money. Right? They need profits in order to continue. If not enough money is coming to them, they're going to do what they have to get you back.
That's true. And I hope they don't put a chick in it, make her gay and lame. Because that would be terrible.
Popeye will never be black. He'll just be too strong after eating spinach. But I've tried spinach, but not on a regular scale. But anyway, guys, it is the top of the hour again. And I think we'll end it here for the night because I do. One, I have to set up for tomorrow's stream, and 2, I do have work in the morning, so I can't.
Oh, it was a fun time. No, I had a blast.
Oh no, and thank you for coming on. Like I always tell my guests, you're always welcome to come back. It's never a one-time ordeal. But yeah, oh definitely will keep you on the record. So was that? Yes, he has a Knuckles thing, but it's kind of off camera from him. So he has a wide camera. Oh look, there you go. Look at that.
I have a bunch of these. I actually won these at in Vegas when I went to visit Pep.
Yeah.
So I went to visit Pep, Gamer's heir, Gamer's wife, Reagan Knight, and Fused Aegis, and we were all hanging out, and so I ended up going back again. And when I went back, I won these, and that was like the first. I got the whole set. I got Knuckles, I got Shadow, I got Tails, and I got Sonic, and I got them all off the rip, like quick as hell. Because Pep's boyfriend is a genius at those arcade games. He's like, just press the button right now, and boom, 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 win every time. And I was like, oh my god. Which here you go. If you want to see more nerdy shit, here you go.
Ooh. Nice.
There's the Tom Nook and Flying Mario hat.
Mario.
Tails.
Yeah. There's Shadow over there.
Back there, Shadow.
I see Jake.
Yep. And then behind the computer is like Charmander, Zero, and you got a like No Face,
No Face.
Dara.
You got
all the systems right here.
And a PlayStation 5. Look at that guy. See a PlayStation 5 too.
Yeah. I have on this setup, I have everything from regular Nintendo up to PlayStation 5. I don't have any Xbox stuff though.
Yeah, I don't. I used to have Switch as a console, but then I had to get rid of it for financial means. So I just have PC stuff. It's insane how many games I have for it. I have like over
PC has
two.
so many games.
I have over like 200 games on Steam. So that shows you. Yeah, don't have enough time to play for them all. But anyway, but yes, time to again we come to time. Yep, come to self promote ourselves, and of course the man will do a weird voice to get your attention on his stuff. So let's see how he does it. Let's see how he does it.
We'll go with. I'll do my power caller voice from. Thank you for. I'm sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
Like, hi, I'm Hemphero. I like to do gaming, but I also do hangouts. I stream every day, Monday through Friday, is always starting around 8 p.m. Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday and Sunday, I do a double feature. Morning is gaming. Saturday evening is always a hangout.
Mm-hmm.
Friday evening is a hangout. Wednesday is a hangout. And Sunday is usually the Stardew Valley with the Stardew crew, or Tuesday with the Stardew crew.
Nice.
So there you go.
And of course the gentleman himself with his lustrous voice has his links below. So if he's worth a follow, check out his stuff and give it to him if he is. I'm blipped. I'm blocked. I can see you just fine. But anyway, from my end of things, just so we can get to that part, because I know whether you're on Rumble, whether on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing content, following, or leaving a comment, any of it matters, and I hope you'll help with that, because again, the engagement factor helps in the being seen factor, which helps in being having more people on factor. You see how the line goes? Being seen to having more people on. That's how it's like a infinite circle. You know, it goes back.
One hand washes the other.
That's right. Soon somebody will do like washing hands OF right there.
Yeah, there you
see
go.
that? Ooh, yeah, wash them with them suds. Oh yeah, wash it good. Getting them fingernails, yeah. But anyway, any help with the engagement on either Rumble or YouTube is much appreciated, because again, guys, I've had on over 100 different people, and I'm looking forward to more. So again, this week is pack filled. Of course, I've got the first 2 weeks of November full. I believe I got to recheck over. But other than that, yeah. And of course, if you go to my link down below, it'll take you to the place my,
Link tree.
Link tree, yes, but it'll take you to like where my other YouTube Rumble links are at, and of course, email, Discord, and Twitter X and all that stuff. I do most of my conversing, or at least messaging back and forth through Twitter X, but I have used Discord and email for that as well. So if you'd like to find out where else I'm at, or if you'd like to take up the opportunity to come on, just go down to that link below and find me at those places. And again, guys, any help with the engagement is much appreciated. And of course, thank you so much, Hemphero. You are the hero for the hemp. This probably will be your theme song going forward, is Hero of the Hemps. But it'll be more like the Twisted Sister version, really.
Okay.
Thank
you for having me on.
Yeah,
It's been a fun time. I had a blast.
Oh no, thank you for coming on. And yeah, it's always a fun time getting not only new meet people, but it doesn't matter if you're a content creator or not. It's just about sitting down and having conversations with other people, because at the end of the day, we're at a time where we're more what was I call it? I call it diverted division.
Yeah.
Right. We're over here at this team. We're over here at that team. And we're really not taking time to at least hear each other out. Some do, but a lot of the times it's not really that. So that's what Darachat is to reach across the table and just talk to people, whether they agree or not. It doesn't matter. It's just about having a conversation with others and going from there. But anyway, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I will have on it won't be a duo, it'll be one of them, because one of them's not going to be able to make it time-wise. But I have one called The Lost Common, or The Law. I can't remember the full title, but I'm just going to go with The Lost Common, where half of them, one half of them will be on tomorrow. So that'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hashtag save tails. Oh goodness, you got to put that hashtag together though, because that's like hashtag then save then tails. You got to put it all together as one. That's how hashtags work. Hey, Lex Astro, what up, my dude? What?
Thank you for coming out. And yes, I did know J.R. Knights, and God rest his soul.
Oh, is that the? I think that's the gentleman who
That's the
passed away.
streamer that passed away,
Yeah.
and like he passed away on July 4th or like July something.
Yeah, that sucks. But I
Yeah.
do remember seeing the link for his GoFundMe or whatever it was.
That was a big deal.
Especially if he's well known in the community. I didn't know him because I was way after the fact.
Oh, you're good. I call it the second wave, which technically we're like the 66th wave or some shit.
Yeah.
Like Rumble's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But the new wave of people is pretty amazing. And
Well,
like JR was part of one of those. He's like, I've been here since the beginning of Rumble, and he was always a one-upper, which I loved because he's like, oh yeah, well, I got this, but he'd show it off. So it's like he was a one-upper with receipts, so it was always fun. So like, no, you don't. He'd be like, yeah, I do. Look,
yeah,
son. But
yeah.
take care of your heart and your body, people, because he had a heart attack and had diabetes. So take care of yourselves.
He was a bit of a Wilford Bromley, just diabetes.
I'm Wilford Brimley, and I have diabetes.
Diabetes. Everyone would make fun of the beatus part, right? Diabetes. Diabetes.
I made a Wilford Brimley pipe actually out of wood, and like gave it to my boss because he thought it looked like his brother.
Yeah.
But like, so now he has the Wilford Brimley pipe.
Nice. Yeah, and funny enough, he was actually in the movie The Thing, and I didn't know that. Yeah, he plays one of the doctors on there, but you wouldn't notice because he doesn't have that beard. He doesn't have that beardy look that everyone knows him by. But yes, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll have on the Lost Common, and of course, guys, this week is going to be interesting. A lot of new people, some are returning, and I hope you'll enjoy me for the rest of them because, guys, this is about having conversations with others, whether you agree or not. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time this week. And of course, like I said earlier, you're always welcome to come back, Hemp. And oh, that's right, we got one more thing to do. At the end of the show, I usually do this thing. It's called questions from a hat. So I bought a hat.
Look at how beautiful that hat is.
Oh yeah. So what happens is the guest gets 2 freebies, and if since I'm not monetized on YouTube, on Rumble, you can give a rant to have another question pulled out. Now, of course, I think it was Dashboard, right? So no, Half Pine actually donated $1, so that will be added on, and you'll have 3 questions. So let's go for question number 1. Let's see what's in the hat. Let's see. I'm not looking at the hat. I'm actually have my eye. But just to be fair, okay. Here's the first one. Right, here's the first one. And what is our question for this one? This one is, this is easy. Are you left-handed, right-handed?
Yeah, I'm left-handed.
Curses.
I'm part of the world that is crushed by the right-handed majority.
We will take you over. We are all right-handers. Yeah.
Dude, I hate being left-handed sometimes. But technically, I'm ambidextrous. But, I am left-handed.
Boo. Boo. I'm not listening to you. All right. Question number 2. Let's see if I can't. I'm not looking. Here we go. All right. Here's one. Right here.
Wrong-handed. That's what they used to tell me in school.
And this one is, what's your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving, because it involves cooking.
There you go. And a lot of eating. Lots.
Yes.
Good Lord, it's a lot of eating.
I love feeding people. So it's like I cook a lot and then just go feed it to like my neighbors and stuff if I don't have family around. Because I live somewhere far away from my family. So.
Oh, that's understandable. All right, last question. Unless someone gives another rant. All right, let's see. Let's say, children, what we could pull out of our hat. I'm going to dig in there. Oh! Never mind, it's just a joke. I'm going to dig right down in there. All right, I think I got a nice juicy one. All right, here we go. Last question. What does it say? If I can open it correctly, because that's the important part. It says, do you prefer cats or dogs, and why?
That's a complicated question there. They both have their uses. I'd have to pick cats because low maintenance. They'll leave you alone when you don't want to deal with like a bunch of attention, and as long as you train them right, they listen. They don't mess up stuff. So like my cat goes to bed when I go to bed, wakes up when I wake up. Like she's on a schedule. Like I got these dogs now, but yeah, cats.
Cats. Got legs Astros and cats for the win. There he goes. Bringing in the heat and the rain. And of course, guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, you'll see you tomorrow with Lost Common. And of course, for you for coming on Hemphero.
Hell yeah, man.
Hemphero, Hemphero, whichever it is.
It's Hemphero. Everybody says Hemperor, which is kind of hilarious because I'm like, that's not how you spell it.
I'm not a hemper either. What do I look like? A dog? Goodness. Anyway.
Couldn't choose. I don't know.
Couldn't choose. Yeah, well, I would say I'm more of a dog person, but I'm enough responsibility as it is. So
yeah, dogs are awesome. They're great for watching your house, guarding livestock, pulling like sleds and stuff like that. They all have their uses. I look at animals in a logical way, though. That's my
yeah, that's true. Get on that Great Dane and have it ride it around town like a horse.
Right? That'd be pretty awesome.
But anyway, like always, we end the show with One Day With You by Pogo. And if people would like to know where all of his other stuff is at, because I use a bunch of his stuff, the link is I've been posting the link down below. So if you're ever curious, the link is there and you can see all of his other works. But anyway, guys, One Day With You by Pogo. Oh, and don't forget to mute your mic as well. Hemphero. Yeah. See you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, guys. Have a great night. Bye.